Okay, cool. Good morning, everyone. How are we today? If I were Good morning. Last time I get to say this, I'm Carrie Holley-Hurt, your intern minister. Welcome home. Unitarian Universalism is unambiguously and unapologetically progressive. This church affirms the inherent worth and dignity of all people through anti-racism, anti-oppression, supporting the LGBTQ+ community, working for reproductive justice, voting rights, and all the other issues. We seek to build beloved community, not only here, but in our surrounding area. And we bring a spirit of joy to it all. It's so good to be together. Please rise and body your spirit for opening hymn, There Is a Love.
Welcome to Live Oak Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is Cindy LaGreca, and one thing I love about Live Oak is how we show up for each other. I'd like to welcome any guests that we have today. If this is your first time here, please stop by the visitors table so we can meet you and answer any questions that you have. As part of our mission, we want to enhance the connections between each of us and also within the outside world. You can stay connected with everything happening at Live Oak through our weekly email newsletter. There's a link on our homepage. And during this worship service, no need to put your phone away. We encourage you to post on social media things you hear today, maybe even an invitation for your friends to join you next week. And now, here and at home, let us light our chalices. Today, our chalice lighter is Dylan. Today's words come to us from the great philosopher Hugh Anthony Craig III. You and I may know him better as Mr. Huey Lewis. I'm not going to sing, I'm just going to read it. The power of love is a curious thing. Make one man weep, make another man sing. Change a hawk to a little white dove. More than a feeling, that's the power of love. You don't need money, don't take fame, don't need no credit card to ride this train. It's strong, and it's sudden, and it's cruel sometimes, but it might just save your life. That's the power of love. And this is a congregation bound not by creed, but by covenant. May those in agreement affirm this covenant now. We affirm a caring community of and for all ages, seeking wisdom, doing service, and living with integrity. In our diversity, our covenant holds us in unity as we celebrate our shared spiritual journey.
A special part of Unitarian Universalist Sunday service is the time of sharing our joys and our sorrows. I think of it as a time when we keep vigil for one another, when we give each other the gift of being present to some special milestone in each other's lives during this previous week. Some particular joy or sorrow that's important for all of us to know. And today, Colleen says, please keep my friend Eileen in your hearts. She is struggling with some serious mental health concerns. We are holding her. And Rosie says, I got to do the school announcements last week. Yay! And Henley says, my mom got a new tattoo. Congratulations. And I made it. And what? That's amazing. Yay. Also, Henley's friend's coming over later today, so that's good too. And then April says, we're happy to have had Dylan over our adventurous summer. He goes to his other home tomorrow, and our hearts are full and happy, but also sad. I also want to just hold anything that's unspoken and the roller coaster of emotions that any of us have had this week with the ruling about the trans ban on healthcare. Often what is heavy on our hearts are our own fears that we have fallen short. We know we have left undone those things we ought to have done, and we have done those things which not ought to have been done. May we have the courage to be honest with ourselves, the willingness to make amends, and the compassion to accept forgiveness from others and from ourselves, trusting in the assurance that imperfection is expected and love is the guiding and healing force in which we align our lives.
You know, there's a word that we hear in this community over and over again from the awesome speakers, from this pulpit, from our community teams, and that was a 4-letter word. And let's see, I think Carrie's speaking about it today. Anybody got to guess what that word might be? Love. Everybody say it together. What word? Love. Yes, love is at the center of this community and at the center of this faith. I'm going to need some volunteers today, and I'm going to call you up one at a time. So, do I see Teddy over there? Roger, come on up, friend. As Unitarian Universalists, like I said, our faith is centered in love. And our UUA social justice ministry is called Side with Love. So if love is at the center, Teddy, can we put this in the center? And I'm going to show you where that's at. Roger. I'm sorry, Roger. I know your name. Here you go. Put it right there. So, Roger, do you think that if there's something in the center, there must be things that go around it? Yeah, okay. Thank you so much. I'm going to call up another friend, okay? So I need another friend. Dylan, come on up. So if love is at the center, what could go around it? And so when I was thinking about that, it made me think of the Article 2 that's coming out, the new Article 2 that we'll be learning about and discussing about the core values of Unitarian Universalism. So I'm going to tell you what those things are. So we're going to circle around, and you'll see where the tape is. Kind of put this. So you can put it right here. Make love our center. Put our petal going like a flower. There you go. Push. Thank you. That word is pluralism. Pluralism. What do we mean by pluralism? Let's see, diversity. Diversity of opinion, diversity of identity, diversity of experience. That's our first core value. So I need another helper. Jackie, come on up. I don't have enough hands today. Ready? Jackie, we're going to add a new petal. And you can put it right here. I got it. It helps me with this. Thank you. See what I mean? Love is at the center. People help. What word is that? Do you know? I know, it's weird. Equity. Yes, thank you so much, Jackie. So have some of you may not have heard of equity. Do you know what equity means? It might be new. When we talk about equity, we think about fairness and justice and ways in which all of those things are important to us. And as a community, to help make sure everybody has the opportunity to flourish, to grow into the whole fullness of life. The whole fullness of life. That we all have that opportunity. Okay, I need another helper. Let's see. I saw, well, now we're going to have to do it. Come on up, Teddy. I know, I got it right. Thank you for making me feel better about my mistake. Will you put that word up for us? You can put it anywhere you want. I say that, but I'm like, not at the bottom. How about right here? Then you'll have a guide. There you go. That is a really big word. It was really hard to fit on that petal, and it is transformation. And what does transformation mean? It means change. Do we all stay the same? No. Are we constantly growing and changing? You know that old saying of, when you know better, you do better? Transformation. It's part of growing into who we're going to be. And we're going to all change, and this faith will continue to change along with us. And I need another volunteer. Over here. Someone's pointing really hard. Curtis, come on up. You don't need to get on the stage? Long arms. We have generosity. And when we talk about generosity, we think about generosity of spirit, about generosity in terms of sharing some of our own extra with people and communities that don't have extra and don't have enough. And there are lots of ways which we practice, and we are invited to practice being generous within ourselves and with our resources in this faith. Thank you, Curtis. Okay, another hand. Rosie. All right, Rosie. Ooh, Rosie came up on. There you go. All right, what's your word? Interdependence. Interdependence. That whole idea of we are connected to everything and everyone, and everything we do affects everything and everyone else in the universe. Gives me chill bumps. And I need another volunteer. Oh, Barbara, come on up. Barbara, you get my last one. Are you ready? What's your word? Justice. We talk a lot about justice in this community, don't we? Yeah. Are there some of us here that have taken actions that have sided with love, who have done big things, small things, the everyday things to make sure that all of us in the world and in our community experience justice? Yes. And I need one more volunteer. Hindley and Wren, come on up together. There's something that ties it all together. So if you'll place that as imperfectly or as perfectly as you can? Thank you. To me, the stem represents all of us, because none of this exists without the nourishment of us. Together, we make a beautiful flower. And I wonder how, as individuals and as a community, how do we help our flower to grow? And I'll say that we help our flower to grow by centering everything we do in love and surrounding it with pluralism, equity, justice, interdependence, generosity, and transformation. These are values to strive for. We're not perfect. We're not perfect people. We're not a perfect community. We're not a perfect faith. But we are always striving to do better, to become our full selves. And it is one of my greatest joys to serve in a community that embraces these values in their faith. And with that, our story is told.
And now, would you please rise in body and or spirit for hymn number 124, Be That Guide. Our reading today is from Reverend M. Jade Kaiser. Love cannot be bought or sold. It does not make a profit. Love does not hide from truth. Love dives deep. Love confronts evil. Love delights in pleasure. Love touches and weeps and flirts and feeds and creates. Love is risky. Love challenges systemic evil in all its forms. Love is simple, but not easy. Love is collective. Love rises up. Love apologizes. Love believes. Love corrects. Love holds accountable. Love pays reparations. Love heals. Love tells its story. Love embraces everyone, every creature, every creation. It knows us intimately. It holds us collectively. Love transcends every boundary that seeks to confine it. It will not tolerate violence in its name. It does no harm. It only sets free.
Tears when you're standing at the crossroads, don't know which path to choose. Let me come along, 'cause even when you're alone, I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you. Won't let nobody hurt you. I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you. Won't let nobody hurt you. I'll stand by you. When the night falls on you, you're feeling all alone, you won't be. I'll stand by you, and I'll stand by you. Won't let nobody hurt you, and I'll stand by you.
That's myself. Could you maybe go to my first slide? That's okay. No worries. I can wing it if we have to, but I don't really want to. Wonderful. Okay, the power of love. Y'all, that reading, I feel like that was such a beautiful encompassing of the power of love. I believe that love has the power to transform lives. I believe that it can transmute, meaning it can take that which is pain and turn it into something beautiful and meaningful. I believe it calls us to our higher purpose. It calls us to freedom. And it calls us to knock down any barriers that are in our way to that freedom and the barriers that are in the way to other people's freedom. Love is the most powerful force in the entire universe. So when we say that love is the spirit of this church, y'all, we are saying something powerful. Now, we don't have a copyright on love, thank goodness. There are other people of other faiths and philosophies and beliefs and all other ways of doing this work and this journey that also pull from this deep well of love. And there are those, like the young man that came here a couple of weeks ago, wanting to teach us the good news of hell. Or the busloads of people who came to fill up the gallery and cheerlead for the harmful and violent trans healthcare bill. Or the 8 full-grown men who stood outside McCallum this week, and more devastatingly, Travis High School, holding obscene signs and yelling slurs at students, at children. Every single one of them would say they were there because of love. I guarantee it. Now, my sermon today isn't about how that's not love or how much we are so much better than that. That is way too low-hanging fruit. And this is my last sermon. I'm not going there. No, what I want to show by showing these extreme examples is that oftentimes control, prejudice, bigotry, hate will masquerade as love. Out in the world, but also in our own faith. And if we're going to harness the power of love, then we got to get real good at what it is and what it's not. So today we're going to use the wisdom of Buddhism, and more specifically, the teachings of Thich Nhat Hanh, to talk about what love actually looks like. So Thich Nhat Hanh teaches the 4 elements of true love. He says the first is loving kindness or friendship. The way he describes this is a way of being in relationship with people that allows for their freedom, that allows for them to have what we have. In the Christian tradition, many progressive Christians will interpret Jesus' directive to love thy neighbor as, I want safety and security, and I want it for you too. I want to be fed and safe and have a soft landing for my loves, and I want it for you too. I want bodily autonomy and the right to determine my health care, and I want it for you too. That is ultimate love. There's not me judging or trying to pretzel you into some form of who I think you should be. And thanks to Chris, we know that sounds a lot like equity and pluralism. Even in this space, we come together, but we don't insist that each other have the same spiritual path as one another. We can hold the tension of so much difference, but hold it together in love. So when our love shows up, does it look like this? Or is it requiring you to conform? Now, the second element of love is compassion. Now, compassion means to suffer with. And Thich Nhat Hanh says that's not like a perfect translation. He says it's more like seeing someone, really seeing them, and seeing their suffering too. And when we can, through the power of love, helping them to transmute their suffering. And this looks like pastoral care to me. This is when we accompany someone, when we sit with them and we hear them out, and we don't fix and we don't try to find solutions, we just listen. Being seen, having our suffering revealed to another is a powerful thing. Because, y'all, we are all so connected. We need each other. Isolation and disconnection is what is killing us. So does our love look like that? Can our love see through our projection of the other so we can actually see their lived reality? Can we sit with it unflinchingly? When love shows up, it's unflinching, and it's holding. The third element is empathetic joy. Y'all, if we cannot share in each other's joy because jealousy and competition get in the way, oh, what a sad life is that? Love shows up as joy, even in the darkness. I saw this at the Capitol when there was so much pain and so much harm, and yet every time I went to the Capitol, there was so much joy. Even after the days of violence, there was joy. Because hate cannot extinguish joy. Do we bring love that looks like joy, or are we bringing suffering to one another? Love looks like joy. And in the words of this beautiful document, generosity. Generosity of will, goodwill to each other. And finally, equanimity and non-discrimination. That's the fourth element of true love. Now, on the surface, I think we could say, we stand up for the marginalized, we fight oppression, check, we got that one. But unfortunately, this is actually calling us to do something harder. You see, for me, it's really easy to love people who are marginalized. It's really easy for me to love those that the system would target for oppression. It is not easy for me to love the person that's marginalizing, those that are doing the oppressing. The day I found out that those 8 men were in front of my kids' school, I was livid, I was angry, I wasn't picking them up, so I'm just stewing. And when my kid comes home, I say, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And they say, "Yeah, I'm fine." Grown-ups are being weird. They said, "I think they didn't get the love they needed as children." That was not my reaction. That was a compassionate response, and it was a humanizing response. You see, I called them monsters. I wanted to do and say things to them that would be cutting. I didn't want to see them as human. And to me, the beauty of this is not that I'm going to get to a place where I just love everyone. Like, that is bodhisattva territory. I am not there. And I don't know that I will ever be there, y'all. But I do think what this can call us to do is to see the humanity in the other. And to me, the beauty of this is that I can hold humans accountable. I cannot hold monsters accountable. I also rebel against the systemic supremacies who would tell us that things are binary, that hate is the only way. I get to opt out of that system. So I call us to that. When we are talking about the other, are we demonizing them? Are we making them monsters? Are we holding them accountable? You can't hold monsters accountable. You can only hold humans accountable. That looks like justice and transformation. Look, I want the beloved community so much. I want everyone to have a soft place. I want no child to have to walk out of their school and be called a slur or see an obscene sign. I want no state agency to come into someone's house and take their child away from them for providing gender-affirming care. I want no person to have to sit through another session because their humanity is up for debate. I don't want that. But if we keep playing the same system into the same system that we have right now, we will just keep playing the same game. We must break out of it. And love is too powerful a force not to completely harness. And yet, so I'm not a bodhisattva. I'm a person who loves deeply, deeply, and perfectly. And I'm going to mess up, and I'm going to mess up over and over again, and y'all are going to mess up over and over again. You're going to bring in your control and your bigotry and your hate, and you're going to try to masquerade it as love, and it's going to happen into our relationships with one another and into the work we do on the outside. But the thing about love is that it is also soft, and it calls us into reconciliation. When we hurt people, when we do something that harms another person, we can buck the system there too. We can come back, we can say we're sorry, we can talk it out, we can center love. Love is the most powerful force in the universe. I feel it here. I feel it in this community. And I believe that y'all are doing the amazing work to push towards the beloved community. And I'm so excited to see what y'all do. I invite you to join me in a time of reflection in word and in silence. we enter into this time of silence with a loving kindness meditation. Please just make yourself comfortable. Close your eyes if that feels safe to you. May I be held in loving kindness. May I be happy and safe. May I be healthy in body and in mind. May I always have enough. May my heart know peace. Let us hold that for a moment together in sacred stillness. Amen and blessed be.
We are the Tradition-Free Church. Our church and our community outreach are supported not from outside sources, but from within. Generosity, therefore, is one of the spiritual values we recognize as central to our personal and our institutional well-being. We share what is offered every week with an organization that upholds our Unitarian Universalist values. This month, we are helping to empower the dream of Mac Cares. For the past 3 years, it's been my honor to be head of this program, a division of the McCallum High School PTSA, which you heard Carrie mention earlier for poor reasons. We work with all families in the McCallum school zone, about 8,300 students in 13 schools across North Central and East Austin, by assisting them with emergency needs, usually financial. We pay their back rent to help them avoid eviction. We pay late utilities so they can keep their lights on, their air on. We pay advanced placement test fees for qualifying students, provide formal wear for events like prom, and stock the counselors' cupboards with snacks for students without adequate access to food at home. We also give out gas and grocery cards and bus passes, run a holiday mitten tree, and many more things that help families move from crisis to stability. MAC and the rest of the schools are Austin public schools, so we have literally no budget. Thank you, Governor Abbott. We rely entirely on donations and volunteers and can only give out as much money as we take in. 25% of our families live in economically disadvantaged situations, and many more live paycheck to paycheck. Last year, we gave out over $20,000 in aid, which, due to higher rent and more families in need, was over 150% more than we gave out the year before. May an offering be received in gratitude and love.
No, I can't stop it. Welcome, and I want to welcome you to our Faith Development Hour this morning and to our activities afterwards, our Fed and Informed potluck, where you will learn all about what's going on for the next semester and all the opportunities you have to engage in this congregation with the work, with the celebration, with the fun, with the community. So, but first, starting out, we're going to have, I think you guessed it, the Twilight Zone. And your conductor this morning is Carrie, our incredible, awesome Carrie. And we are going to be doing the episode To Serve Mankind, which is one of the biggest classics of the Twilight Zone. And I wonder what kind of discussion you're going to come out with that one. That'll be interesting to see. And the kids and I and Audrey will be upstairs. We are going to be discussing the seventh principle and fair trade chocolate and what fair trade means and what it means to have child labor and how we're all interconnected and how we need to transform the system. So I welcome you to the Faith Development Hour and to Fed and Informed. I hope you stick around. We're going to have a great time today. Thank you.
And now please rise and body your spirit for closing hymn 18, What Wondrous Love. Here's the part where I bless y'all. Maybe I can just bless you by reflecting back the love that I felt from this community. Y'all are so loving. You are so kind and so gracious and merciful. Even when I mess up, you're kind. You laugh at my jokes. I really appreciate that. And you're so dedicated. You're dedicated to each other, and you're dedicated to your faith, and you're dedicated to making this world better. This is where I became a minister. Thank you for loving me, and thank you for loving each other. So many blessings. May your week, your year, your decade be marvelous.
Thank you. Dylan, you want to come back up? As Dylan extinguishes the chalice, let us say these words to each other. We extinguish this chalice flame, daring to carry forward the vision of this free faith, that freedom, reason, and justice will one day prevail in this nation and across the earth. And now as we depart, we extend and receive the gift of hospitality by taking the first 5 minutes to talk to someone who we don't yet know well. May we know the blessings of friendship and community.